I'm Hope Gordon. I am a full-time student and I also swim and row for Scotland. I've got a condition called reflex sympathetic dystrophy, which is also known as complex regional pain syndrome. It's the most chronic pain condition doctors know about. It's a neurological condition, so it affects my nervous system, which means the messages my brain sends down to my legs get blocked. Instead of focusing on what I can't do, I just focus on what I can do. I'm more mentally strong now than I was before I had this condition.
We had no idea what was ahead in life for Hope when she was little at all, because she was very healthy, very strong, very happy, although very quiet and very shy. She loved animals, she spoke to them more than she spoke to people, and she was always desperate to get in the swimming pool as well. She loved to swim, loved to be outside, just happy, healthy child.
I've had pain in my left leg since I was about 4 years old, but then when I was 12 I was in school just playing football and the pain got a lot worse, but I didn't get tackled, I didn't fall or anything. I didn't know why it was worse, I just thought it was a bit of a flare-up of what I already had. And it was 9 months later before I got diagnosed with reflex sympathetic dystrophy.
It was just horrible to be told that she had the worst kind of non-terminal condition that she could possibly have, which was how they phrased it. I mean, it's just such an incredible, painful condition to have. We'd be sitting in the room with her at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, with her crying her eyes out with the pain. It's just a nightmare. It's just, to see your child in pain like that is awful.
CRPS, they call it that because it usually only affects one limb of the body. It's a pain syndrome because it's a collection of symptoms rather than one single symptom that collectively makes it very complex. I would say for every 100,000 people there's approximately 5 cases a year. There's a range of medication that's used and none of them are there to cure CRPS, they're all there to manage the symptoms.
So in total, if I was to take everything that I'm prescribed, it's over 30 pills a day. I've taken that since I was about 14.
Our brother's room was through the wall from her, and they're very close, they always have been. And he would be hearing her through the night, and it's like listening to an animal in pain. It's just horrible.
So the lack of sleep does affect my training and also college. I'm currently doing an HND in health, fitness and exercise. The last thing you really want to do is sit in class all day trying to read a book and learn. So quite often people will say, oh, I'm so tired. And quite often I'll ask them how much sleep they got. And they'll be like, oh, only about 5 or 6 hours. And I kind of said, well, you know, sometimes that's like 3 nights sleep for me.
Hope says it all with a smile, you've got to keep going. That's life. I can remember being at a swimming session in Inverness, watching her swim, and she was swimming with the disability guys, and on the other side of the lane rope were the mainstream swimmers that she used to swim with. That sort of thing used to break me. I would dissolve into tears with that one. I think we have to thank swimming a lot for giving her purpose to get out of bed in the morning. Because my personal belief is that if she hadn't had something to get out of bed for in the morning, she would have ended it long ago. And that I find very hard, so very, very grateful to swimming as a sport.
A typical day for me is pretty hectic. I get up at 4:44 a.m. and I'm in the pool for an hour and a half or 2 hours. Then I'm in the gym and then I'm in college 9 till 4, and then I'm back at the pool for 5:30 and in the pool till 8.
I think I've known Hope for about 5 years now. The first time I spoke to her, she was just coming into the disability swimmer pathway. Obviously a good technique, really keen. As a coach, you're always looking to coach the swimmer's ability So you're looking at what they are able to do and develop what they have there. With Hope's pain condition, it brings another aspect to that, because there's obviously issues around being able to dive at the race starts, being able to turn in terms of effectively her leg almost getting in the way of what she's looking to do, or how we would normally coach a turn.
So at the end of the month, I've got the British Paraswimming International Championships, which is also trials for our World Championships, which are in Glasgow in August.
Hope's already competed numerous times for Scotland. Having said that, there'll only be 2 swimmers selected, guaranteed, in those events if they make the time. But she's got to try and get in amongst those guys and compete as best she can with those.
I want to be the best that I can be and go to Paralympics. My health's been a bit up and down the past year, so I haven't really had an awful lot of consistency in my training, but hopefully they'll get sorted out soon. And yeah, hopefully Rio could be on the cards and beyond.
My first impression of her was that she was a very shy young girl who'd obviously been through quite a lot physically and emotionally, and I felt quite a lot of empathy for her, especially with her young age being away from home. It's
good to have somebody to talk to who you trust and who understands and that kind of relate to as well. They've tried numerous other treatments, and a lot of them have unfortunately increased the pain instead of decreasing it. They don't really know why, but obviously different treatments work for different people, and nothing seems to work for me.
She's a very determined individual, and it became very apparent quickly to me when I visited her in the gym that a lot of the stuff that she was doing was beneficial to her both physically and mentally.
You know, there's been a lot of setbacks through this, that and the next thing, but for me I just use swimming as almost like a therapy just by itself. So sometimes I can have a really down day, and then I can go in for a training session and come out feeling on top of the world. I've been involved in rowing for about 1.5 years now. It's not something that I'd ever done before. I never really seen it as a child. I've always liked watching it on TV and thought it was pretty cool. I just kind of caught the rowing bug, and I've absolutely loved it since then, especially like now that I can actually row out in the water.
Hope is born to be an athlete. She is very easily coached. She's very, very strong-willed and strong-minded, and she's very quick to pick things up. Hope constantly fights her body and her condition to row, and she doesn't just row, she rows well. She rows physically, she gives you as much intensity as she can, and she never, ever, ever sees anything as too much of a challenge. She surprises me all the time. She makes me smile. She makes me want to cry when she's wanting to cry, but she never ever allows life to influence her for too long. So although she does suffer dramatically from the condition she has, she doesn't allow it to overcome her.
British Paraswimming is one of the best squads in the world, so therefore the qualification times are extremely high. But my main aim is just to try and swim personal best. 100 metres was good for me. I got personal best, so it's the fastest that I've ever swam, so you can't argue with that. I also just missed out in the final by, I think it was 1 or 2 places, so it was frustrating being so close to making final, but just try and work harder and swim faster next time.
I just think the way she picks herself up from every disappointment and gets on with it is a truly brilliant attitude to take. Hope inspires me to be a better person and not to give in. She's always got time for people. She's always smiling. She's always hiding the pain. You know, she's just a genuinely good person. Very lucky to have her.
I think the saying goes, fall down 7 times, stand up 8. I think I've probably fallen down about 70 times, but every time sport's always been there for me, so I do really have kind of my life to thank sport for.